Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kaiga1324 up here today. We are here. This is a bit of a celebration video, to be honest. We have finally reached 150 subscribers, and I just want to give a big thank you for everyone who's all of you subscribers and everyone who leaves those likes and those comments and even watches the videos. Now, wondering what am I going to do for this video? As a sort of like celebration, I guess, I'm going to show you guys 2 full libraries of games and go through the list. It would be especially great for those people who are collecting, also people who just want to see a full library. We're going to be showing off first, of course, the Gamecube library. Now, if you're wondering how do I have this, please check out my last video. This is a modded Wii, and the capture card is working great with it, which is great. And I'm going to be showing you this collection and also the Game Boy Advance collection. However, the Game Boy Advance will be a text list, unfortunately. This one, at least you have some pictures. So we're going to get straight into it. If you want to see the Game Boy Advance collection done in ASMR, please leave a comment below. And perhaps I'll do the ASMR version in the Game Boy Advance games. I was going to do it for GameCube, but I thought we'd just go with the normal one for now. So, let's go straight into it. I'm using the Wii remote instead of the GameCube remote because it's easier for the sake of highlighting. So, anyway, let's get started. We have 007, Everything or Nothing. Pretty decent game for its time. It's still alright today. One of the better James Bond games. 007 from Russia with Love. The game's alright, but the highlight for me is you get to play as Sean Connery. Then we have 007 Nightfire, a game from my childhood. I loved this game multiplayer. I didn't have GoldenEye, I had Nightfire, and the multiplayer is great. Tried playing some of the campaign yesterday and it was really dark, so I had no idea. And then the game just sort of pissed me off, so I just moved on. But definitely be loading that up a few times to play some multiplayer. Then we have 1080 Avalanche. It's a snowboarding game, originally on the N64, I believe. It's alright, it's like Cool Borders or something. 1080 Silverstorm. This is the same game as 1080 Avalanche, but it's the Japanese version. And the only reason normally they put 2 copies of the game on is the Japanese version sometimes is a little bit different. I loaded that up and it's the exact same load screen and everything as 1080, but maybe there's a few gameplay changes I didn't know. I'm just going to turn the audio down because you don't want to hear the better. There we go, that's a bit better. And then we have 18 Wheeler, American Pro Trucker. I think I played this on the PS2. It's really difficult actually. Then we have 2002 FIFA World Cup. I actually gave it a go and it's a football game. It's alright. The graphics are a bit weird though. They sort of got like cel shaded graphics almost. Maybe it's just the old graphics, I don't know. 2006 FIFA World Cup Germany. I actually had this on the Xbox 360. I used to play it quite a bit. I gave it a go. I just don't think the GameCube controller for me is that good for sport games, at least in my opinion. Football games I find I prefer to play it with an Xbox or a PS2 controller. 4x4 Evo 2. I thought this would have been a good game, but it's not very good. It's average. Then we have Ace Golf. I tried to load this game up and it didn't work, so maybe I have noticed with the Wii Cubes sometimes it will freeze, which is understandable because essentially it's a modded system and it's all on a hard drive, so you know. But from what I know, it's just a sort of basic golf game, cartoony, I guess. Aggressive inline. This is a Tony Hawk clone, but instead with rollerblades. I couldn't really get into it, to be honest. Then we have Alien Hominid. This is one of the sort of first behemoth Newground video games that was released on an actual console. This is like the original Cuphead. It's a very tough game. Co-op though. It reminds me a lot of Cuphead, actually. And it's also on the Xbox One as well. It's on the Game Pass, if you want to play it on the Game Pass. Then we have All-Star Baseball 2002 and 2003, 2004. I don't really know a lot about baseball games. I don't know what classes as a good baseball game these days. I don't know what would require to be a good baseball game. I know how baseball is played. I've got a small understanding of this sport, but I don't know what makes a good baseball game. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Amazing Island. I have no idea what game this is, but it's a Sega game, so maybe it's good. I think it's a platformer by the looks of it. American Chopper 2, Full Throttle. Bike racing game, I guess, based on a TV show, I think. Animal Crossing, of course, a classic game. More of a game that you play just to do what you need to do and then leave. It's all in real time. Maybe I'll get into it because I do like the ones on DS. Maybe the GameCube one will be better because I'm playing on a full screen. Animaniacs, the Great Edgar Hunt. Never watched the show. From what I understand, it's just a platformer. Aquaman, Battle of Atlantis. This is Super NAN 64 underwater. It's a terrible game. I'm gonna have to give it a go in a video just to see how bad it is. Army Men Sarge's War. Army Men Air Combat, the Elite Missions. This is a exclusive Army Men game on the GameCube. I don't think this one is the Elite Missions isn't on PS2 from what I know. And then Army Men Real Time Strategy, pretty decent game. Asterix and Obelix, Double XL, a French comic series. Then we have ATV Quad Power Racing, the second game. It's an ATV game. Don't know how good they are. I think I played a little bit of this on PS2. It's pretty decent. Auto Modelista, a game that a lot of people said should have been better than what it was. It's a cel-shaded arcade racer / simulator. It's alright from what I hear. It could have been better. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've never watched the show actually. Maybe I will watch it one day. Backyard Baseball and Backyard Football. And Backyard Sports Baseball 2007. I think these are sort of like early Mii games that ain't Mii's. You use sort of like cartoony characters and they look like Mii's actually. Don't know how good they are though. Bad Boys Family Takedown. I think this game's quite bad. I think it's a really bad game. I could be wrong. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. I played a little bit on the PS2. It's a dungeon crawler, top down. It's alright. Barnyard. I remember the movie and I remember the show. I think it was a movie. I'm definitely sure it was a movie. And then there was a show. I don't know how good the game is. Ultimate Kaito's Eternal Wings and the Lost Legacy, I believe that is. And Alton Carto's original origins. I think these are sort of like RPGs exclusive to the GameCube. I don't know how good they are. I think they're alright. Then we have Batman Begins, Batman Dark Tomorrow. This definitely didn't come out on the PS2, at least here in Europe. I have not seen it, even though it doesn't say exclusive. I have not seen it on PS2. It might be on Xbox. I'll give this one a go because I don't know a lot about it. Batman Rise of Shinzou, and Batman Vengeance. This is Arkham Asylum before Arkham Asylum. This is sort of like a top-down, a beat-em-up style game, a good one I hear, and this one gets shit. Battalion Wars, this is kind of an interesting real-time strategy game where you get to play as the units. It's kind of interesting. Battle Stadium Dawn, a Japanese title here. I think it's a fighting game with like a mixed match of characters like One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and I believe that's Naruto there. So kind of interesting Japanese titles on here. Some of these you don't need to speak Japanese to play them because they might have English or options, or it's just a game where it's all gameplay, no story. So if you don't speak Japanese, I wouldn't recommend trying to play a story-driven Japanese game. Beach Bikers Virtua Beach Volleyball, another Virtua Sega game. Don't know how good it is. Beyblade V-Force Super Tournament something. Maybe Battle. I remember Beyblade. Everyone had Beyblade as a kid. Beyond Good and Evil, a classic game I hear, and of course the second game is going to be coming out, I believe. Big Air 3 style, looks like another sort of bike racing game, motorbikes I guess. Big Mother Truckers, play on words. So just a truck racing game. This game is fantastic. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. It's just a really good game. It's like a platforming game where you roll around like giant eggs, and then when you use the egg you break them and you get like little monsters that fight for you. I'm doing a bad job of describing it. I'm definitely going to have to do a top 10 GameCube games in my opinion. Now that I have the list, I can do it. Bionicle, it's alright, and Bionicle Heroes, this is sort of one of the early Traveller's Tale games, but it's a third person shooter, but you still get to like collect things and stuff like that, like in a traditional Lego game. Black and Bruised, a boxing game. Bleach CG, GameCube, I don't know how you speak it. Tsungare ni Marimu Shingami, I believe it's a fighting game. Blood Omen 2, The Legacy of Kain. Oh, for fuck's sake, the TV. Where's this TV remote? For fuck's sake. Fucking TV cut off. I remember playing this game. It's an interesting vampire game. You get to like suck blood, but the way you do it is really weird. Look it up. Blood Rain, classic game. Bloody Raw, Primal Fury. These games are getting expensive. I believe they're fighting games. They're getting quite expensive. Then we have Blowout. I believe it's sort of like a action shooter game, I think. BMX Triple X, adult BMX game. Look it up. It's not that great. I have, but look at that name. Babu Boo Babu Boo 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 Dai Sushi Hajiki Royale. What even is that name? I think it's a battle royale fighting game. Bomberman Generation, Bomberman Jettas, and Bomberman Land 2 was a Japanese game here. Don't I don't really care much for the Bomberman series. I know a lot of people do. I know it's a great series. I'm just not that great at it, so I'm not bothered when I miss out on Bomberman games, but I'll definitely have to give them a go. Then we have Bratz Forever Diamonds and Bratz Rock Angelz. Pretty much the go-to dolls of the early 2000s, mid 2000s and early 2000s. Very popular in their time, and of course got a lot of like hip hop pop star themes behind them. Even though those are called Rock Angelz, they look like they're more like hip hop artists. Interesting. Anyway, I've talked enough about Bratz. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds. There was only really about 3 Buffy games that ever been released. With the popularity of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that even surprises me. And then we have Burnout 1 and 2. Great games. The first one is classic, but it's quite tough. The second one, of course, is where a lot of people really got into the series. I didn't really play the second one. I played the first one, and then I didn't really play much of Burnout until I got older. Buster Move 3000. Of course, everyone knows the Buster Move series, you know, like Bubble Witch Saga style games. For those of you in the modern generation, you know, you shoot up your little colours and you have to match them and things like that. But Ugly Martian, Zoom or Doom, another trend that went out really quickly. But Ugly Martians. Then we have some Cabela games. Cabela Big Game Hunter 2005, Cabela Dangerous Hunt 2, and Cabela's Outdoor Adventures. These are hunting games. I don't agree with hunting. I don't think it's right to go and shoot an animal just for the sake of it. If you want to do it in a video game, I guess. You're less likely to get killed. And yeah, but there's so many Cabela games these days, and how you can comprehend and just go, you know what, when is enough enough? How many times can we make a hunting game? I mean, I like hunting in video games because it's fun. You know, it's a lot of, you do it for survival. These games are just doing it for the sake of it. I don't really care though, to be honest. It's a video game, just in real life. Then we have Call of Duty Finest Hour and Call of Duty 2. Got to start somewhere, guys. Then we have Capcom versus SNK 2EO. Sorry, it doesn't say what the EO is. A fighting game with some Capcom and SNK games. Then we have Captain Tsubasa. I don't know how you pronounce that whole thing. From what I know, this is an old anime, and it's based on football or soccer. And I believe this is one of the only games that have really been made of it. I don't know. I think it's an arcade style game though. Carmen Sandiego, The Secret of the Stolen Drums. I've not really watched any of Carmen Sandiego, so I think it's an action game. Cards, alright game. Casper Spirit Dimensions, everyone remembers Casper. Some people say that he's the ghost of Richie Rich. Look it up. Castle Ween, don't know much about it. Catwoman, terrible game, I hear. Cell Damage, I love this game. It's one of my favourite games of all time. And I even have the HD version, just because even though it's the same game, I just love it so much. Chaos Field, I think this is a mech game. Then we have Charinko Hero. This is a kart racer game from what I know. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I believe it's an average platformer. Charlie's Angels, one of the worst games ever made, some people say. Chibi Robo. A lot of people really like this game. I've never played it myself, but it's an interesting game, I hear. Chicken Little, movie title. City Racer, another racing game there. There's so many of these Kakutu games. I don't know who Kakutu is. I don't know where he originated from. There's so many these days, and I have no idea who this character is. He just went over my head. If you know more about him, let me know. Kakutu Funfair, Kakutu Platform Jumper, and Kakutu Kart Racer. How good these games are, I have no idea, but from what I know, from what I can gather, I think they're probably average. Codename Kids Next Door Operation video game. Remember that show? Didn't really watch it. I watched a few episodes and thought it was a decent. Conan. I don't know if it's a movie title or if it's just based on a character. Conflict Desert Storm and Conflict Desert Storm 2 back to back dad. Tactical shooters. A lot of people like these games. Then we have the Crash Bandicoot games. We have Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. Not as good as the original trilogy, but some people say it's still a good. Some people would still throw it in with the trilogy. Crash Nitro Kart. I believe that this is better than Crash Team Racing in my opinion, but Crash Team Racing is more well loved. And Crash Tag Team Racing. Crazy Taxi. Croquette Banking. No Kiki Wutsukuki. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea. Cubivore, Survival of the Fittest. Never heard of this game. Looks interesting. Cubix, Robots for Everyone Showdown. I believe this is sort of like a Pokemon style game. Collecting robots and stuff. Could be interesting. I like those sort of style of games. Curious George. Classic character. For kids, why they needed a video game, I think it's based on the movie. Custom Robo, looks pretty awesome actually. Darantaru Smash Brothers DX. From what I know, this is a different version of Smash Brothers Melee. I might be wrong, but I believe that's what it is. I think it's a different version of it. It says DX, so it might be the ultimate version of the game. I don't know. I don't know actually. If you know about this game, let me know in the comment below. I might have to give it a go, but I think it's Smash Brothers. But part of me thinks it's Smash Brothers Brawl. Or the one before, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to know more information on this game. Even if you just send me a link. Dakar 2. I used to love watching these videos back in the day. Basically a rally in the desert. You don't get to travel the whole desert. That'd be cool though. Dance Dance Revolution. Mario Mix. I believe you do need a dance mat to play it though. Dark Summit. I played it on the Xbox. It's not that great. Snowboarding game. Darkened Sky, don't know a lot about it. Dave Mirror's 3-Style BMX 2. Dead to Rights, pretty decent title. Def Jam Vendetta, pretty fun arcade style wrestling game. And Def Jam Fight for New York, it's a fighting game. They're good games though. Defender, I hear it's nowhere near it's not that great. Derby Tsuku, this is a Japanese horse racing title. Die Hard Vendetta, I remember this game as a kid, it's alright. Digimon Battle Chronicle, and Digimon Rumble Arena 2, and Digimon World 4. These games are getting quite expensive, especially the PlayStation ones. This is fun, this is a Smash Brothers clone, but it's a pretty fun one. Dinotopia, I think it's an RPG with dinosaurs. Then we have some Disney games, quite a few on the Gamecube. Disney Sports Football, Disney Sports Skateboarding, Disney Sports Basketball. If that was Looney Tunes, that'd be better. Disney Sports Soccer. Oh, that's American football, and that's the okay. Disney Donald Duck Going Quackers. Disney Extreme Skate Adventure. Okay. Disney's Hide and Seek. Disney's Magical Mirror starring Missy Mouse. Disney's Party, and Disney's PK Out of the Shadows. I don't know how good these Disney games are. Disney was well renowned for having decent titles back in the day. I don't know how good any of these are, but I think for the most part they're decent titles. Dokapon DX, I've heard the name Dokapon. I don't know a lot about this game. I think it's an RPG, but part of me thinks it's a strategy game. I don't know. Then we have Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Donkey Konga, and Donkey Konga 2. You do need the Donkey Kong bongos to play these games, so maybe it's a good excuse for me to get one. Dora the Explorer. I've seen what she looked like in modern times now, and she's all 3D, and it looks so weird. I remember this show as a kid. I didn't particularly watch it, my younger brothers did, but she does not look nothing like that anymore. Doraemon, I have no idea what game this is. It looks very Japanese. Dushin the Giant. I don't think this is a Japanese title, even though it's got a Japanese name. I don't know. Dubutsu Banko. I have no idea what this is. Dabutu no Mori EX. This is Animal Crossing. You can sort of tell from the cover now that I look at it, but when I looked it up, it is Animal Crossing. Dr. Muto, and then we've got some Dragon Ball Z games. We have Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Budokai 2, and Sagas. This is a sort of RPG Dragon Ball Z game. These two are 2D fighters almost. They're decent games. This one is underrated. This one was remastered along with the third one. They do need to do a remastering of Tenkaichi. Then we have Dragon Dive Demaster Shot. I believe it's a basketball game based on an anime. Dragon's Lair 3D. Classic game, but this is a sort of reimagining. And then we have Dream Mix TV World Fighters. Look at that. You've got Optimus Prime in there, you've got all these characters. I don't know a lot about this game, but I have heard of this game. I believe it's sort of, I don't know if it's like a Smash Brothers game, or a fighting game, but it's got a bunch of just random characters in there. I've heard about this game, and I might have to look it up because definitely want to try that game out. Driven, this is a top-down Formula 1 game actually. It's sort of like Micro Machines from what I can hear. Lego Drone Racers, remember them. Duel Masters Netu Battle Arena. This was basically a Yu-Gi-Oh! Rip-off, essentially. Ed, Edd n Eddy The Misadventures. From what I know, this is the only Ed, Edd n Eddy game ever made. There was also one on Game Boy Advance, but it's still the same game, just different. One of my favourite cartoons of all time. I loved Ed, Edd n Eddy, and I've seen something online that there might be a new one coming out, and the animation style is terrible, but I'm still going to watch it because it's Ed, Edd n Eddy. Eggmania, Extreme Madness, I think it's a strategy game. Then we have Inside Mijing 6. I think it's a shooter game. It looked like it could be a shooter game. I could be wrong. Enter the Matrix. Loved this game as a kid. Doesn't really hold up in some parts today, but it's still a great game. ESPN Winter Sport 2002 for you winter sport fan. This is ESPN Modern League Soccer, or Major League Soccer. It's the American league. Eternal Arcadia Legends. This is another exclusive game. This is an RPG, but it is the Japanese game. So, but I believe they do have the English version on here as well somewhere. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. This is a game that's I heard nothing but good things about. It's a horror slash adventure game, and it's really weird. Your character's sanity goes, and there's parts in the game where your game pretends that it's deleting your save file. It's really out there. Evolution Skateboarding and Evolution Snowboarding and Evolution Worlds. I don't think that's got anything to do with these ones. They might have all been made by the same company. Skateboard, snowboarding, and I think this is an RPG. F-Zero GX. I hear this is a really good game. Racing game, classic. Formula 1 2002 and Formula 1 Career Challenge from Formula 1 game. Family Stadium 2003. It looks like a baseball. I think it's a baseball game. Fantastic Four. And then we have the FIFA games. FIFA 06, 07. These look like they only came out in America. Because these aren't the English covers. These are the American covers. That is FIFA 2002, 3, 4 and 5. So you have 2 all the way through to 7 on the Gamecube. FIFA Street 1 and 2, loved this game as a kid, really good arcade slash football game. One of the only FIFA games I can really enjoy. Fight Night Round 2, boxing game. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I don't know how good this is as a Final Fantasy game, but we did get this on the Gamecube. I believe there was some more Crystal Chronicle games released on the Wii in Japan and also on WiiWare, which I do have. Oh, and I will be doing a WiiWare full collection as well. Maybe I'll do that next. So this, WiiWare and Game Boy Advance. Finding Nemo. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Great game series, I hear. Tough as nails in some parts. First party Nintendo game. This is a £100 game these days. So, yeah. Fireblade. Helicopter game. Flushed Away. This movie really did get flushed down the toilet. In Franklin, A Birthday Surprise. I have no idea why there's 2. Freaky Flyers. I think this is a racing game with planes. Freedom Fighters. I hear good things about this game from the makers of Hitman 2. Freakstyle and Freestyle Metal X, both bike racing games. Frogger Beyond and Frogger Ancient Shadow. Everyone loves Frogger. Future Tactics, The Uprising. I hear good things about this game. It's a tactical strategy game. Gadget Racers, made by the Takara company. I love the road trip game, and there is one on here that I'm going to need more information on. Gaku Toshivara Noir Roses. I have no idea what it is, but I think it's an RPG. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Geist. Gekutu Pro Yaku. I have no idea what game this is. So information on these games that I don't know would be appreciated. Zero Fighter, I'm not even going to try and read. Get to Senki. I guess a plane game by the looks of it. Generation of Chaos Exceed. I don't know if it's an RPG. Gift Pia. I have no idea what this is. Gladius. This is I think it's an RPG. I don't know. Go Hyper Grind. From what I can guess, it's a maybe a skateboarding game. Goblin Commander Unleash the Horde. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Nowhere near as good as the original game. Gotcha Force. I've been playing a lot of this. As you can see, I've played this game 4 times already since getting it. Tells you how big the games are as well. I can't do this game justice. It is one of the best games ever made. It's a reason to own a GameCube, or at least you know, do what I've done and get a modded Wii, because this is so many hours you can put into this game. The main campaign is 9 hours, but it's one of them games that you have to keep going back and playing it to get every character, and the gameplay is solid, and the story is the only thing that I don't really care much for. But to be honest, look this game up. I'm gonna do a gameplay on this week, because it doesn't really matter even though I'm playing it, because every time you play it, it just helps. Just look it up. This is a £100 game, and then worth that. Slot Car Thunder Groove Rider. I think this is a Scale Electric style game. GT Cube. This is the only. This was only released in Japan. Kind of interesting why they didn't release it in the, over here. Gun. This was Red Dead Redemption before Red Dead Redemption. It's alright now, but back in the day it was great. Happy Feet. Then we have some Harry Potter games. We have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the second game. The movie. Goblet of Fire, I believe, was the fourth movie. Prisoner of Azkaban, third movie. And the Philosopher's Stone. I'm not going to call it by the American title, I'm going to call it by the English title, and that is the Philosopher's Stone. This is actually getting quite expensive. The PS1 version is still cheap, but the PS2 or the GameCube version is quite expensive because they're saying it's much better, that you know, it's classic. And then Quidditch World Cup. Out of the Harry Potter games, which one would I recommend? This one. This is great. You can play this game with 3 players, even with 2 players. It's great. It's sort of like a shooter game almost. But then we have Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. Harvest Moon: Another Wonderful Life. I couldn't really find much information about this. I think it's a expansion pack, but by the looks of it, it's an English game. And then Magical Melody. Love these games on the GameCube. I prefer to play Harvest Moon on the Wii or the GameCube over than the DS. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Hikaru no Go 3. I have no idea what the game this is. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, the only Hitman game GameCube got. Home Run King. Homeland. I have no idea what this is. It looks like No Man's Sky. Hot Wheels Velocity X and Hot Wheels World Race. But then we have here some interesting games here, only in Japan. The Hudson selection. I think these were sort of like Hudson games that got a physical release on the GameCube. We had the Cubic Load Runner, Star Soldier, Bonk's Adventure, and Adventure Island. I don't know a lot about how these came out in Japan. I know, maybe you guys can tell me more about that. I don't know how much these would be worth as well. Hulk, Hunter the Reckoning, really good game actually. Hydro Thunder, I didn't even know Hydro Thunder came out on the GameCube. Hypersport 2002 Winter, this is a Japanese exclusive as you can see. iNinja, I hear good things about this game. Ice Age 2 The Meltdown. Ikaruga, this is a very good title, I hear. It's a shooter, but it's an interesting one because there's 2 types of enemies. There's black enemies and then there's white ships. Well, yeah, and some enemies shoot like red, dark red, and some enemies shoot coffee please. Some enemies shoot, well, there's 2 different colours and you change your ship. So if you're shipped one colour, those bullets one colour bullet. So if your ship's black, for example, the black bullets won't hurt you. And then you keep switching. It's a very tough game, but I hear it's one of the best shooters ever made. And of course they got a physical release in the West and Japan. But this is a pretty expensive game as well. I think it's about a £60–70 game. Maybe I'm wrong, but very tough game. Cult classic. In television lives. I played this on the PS2, so if you guys want to see some gameplay for it, feel free to check it out. International Superstar Soccer 2 and 3. This is basically Pro Evolution Soccer before Pro Evolution. Agent Under Fire. It annoys me because this one's called James Bond rather than just 007. Played a little bit of it. It's alright. It's not as good as... I don't think it's as good as Nightfire. Haven't really played much of the multiplayer though. Jeremy McGrath's Supercross World, another bike racing game. And then we have GQ Powerful Major League. These are all the same games. So that one, 10, 11 Chao Ketuban, 12, 9. So these games are all the same series, and from what I can tell, they're baseball games. Obviously, they were quite popular in Japan. You could probably play these games, even if you don't speak Japanese, but again, if you want to do like team formation and stuff, then I guess you can't. But just for the gameplay, I guess. And then World Soccer 2000. Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Jet Fusion and Attack of the Twonkies. I didn't really much care for Jimmy Neutron as a kid. It just didn't interest me, to be honest. I know a lot of people will hate me for that. Judge Dredd, Dredd vs Death. Actually, surprisingly decent title. Cal the Kangaroo Round 2. Karaoke Revolution Party. Yeah, so I think this is the only karaoke game on the GameCube. Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer, and then there's 2 Killer 7s. I don't know why there's 2. I think this is the Japanese version of the game. Maybe there's a difference, I don't know. King Arthur. Some people say this game is rare. I don't think it is. I don't know, based on the movie. Kirby Air Ride, this is a £190+ game. It's an interesting racing game, but it's annoying because it's the only Kirby game GameCube got, and it's a racing style game. It would have been nice to have a traditional platform and Kirby game to play. And then we have Kiwami Mahjong DX2. Mahjong is a Japanese sort of tile card game. I have no idea how to play Mahjong. I think it's Japanese and Chinese. It's very, I don't know. I think it's Japanese. I have no idea how to play Mahjong. Maybe I'll learn one day and maybe enjoy it. Would be no, but maybe I might have to learn how to play Mahjong. Not many people would. Not many people would. I know how to play it, so it'd be interesting. Knights of the Temple Infernal Crusade. I don't know how good it is, but it might be decent. Knockout Kings 2003. I'm not going to read it, but that's the title. From what I can guess, it's a fighting game. And the tag battle version. Curing Squash. I know. Oh, I know this game. This is that one with the big. Yeah, this is an interesting puzzle game. Tomb Raider Legend, the only Tomb Raider game that came out on GameCube. Largo Winch, played a little bit of it, not my game. Legend of, I played on PS2. Legend of Golfer, this is a Japanese arcadey golf game. Legend of Wrestling 1 and 2, terrible games. Lego Star Wars 1 and 2, the only Lego Traveller's Tale Lego games, traditional ones we got on GameCube. A series of unfortunate events. Looney Tunes Back in Action, love the movie. Lost Kingdoms 1 and 2. These are RPGs, but you get like cards you can deploy, and they're like monsters you can deploy in battle and things. It looks like a game I probably enjoy. Lotus Challenge, did not like this game at all. Luigi's Mansion, fantastic game, really good game. The only gripe with this game people have is it's quite short. Lupin the Third, I have no idea what this game is. It looks like a racing game, maybe. Madagascar. And then we have the Madden series. 2006, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, yeah. So, all those Madden games for you Madden fans. I don't really follow American football. Maybe I'll try one day. Major League Baseball 2K6. There's so many sport games these days. But, you know, each to their own. Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, Mario Kart Double Dash. Kind of an interesting variation of Mario Kart. And then we get into my favourite Mario series, Party. 4, 5, 6, and 7. These games are just fantastic party games. These games basically are a board game mixed in with party mini games, and everyone loves the games in these series, but I enjoy the board game segments just as much as the party games. And there is single player in some of these. I had number 5 growing up, and I loved this game. But there's so many Mario Party games these days, it's crazy. But these 4, a lot of people say are some of the best Mario Party games. 5 is, in my opinion, my favourite. Maybe I'll play the others and see. And then we have Mario Power Tennis and Baseball, Super Baseball. Of course, Mario had to do everything. Mark Davis Pro Bash Challenge, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfect. Did play this as a kid. I thought it was awesome, but from what I hear, it's nowhere near as good as what you remember. Mary Kate and Ashley Sweet 16. I believe it's a board game thing. It's not very good. Matt Hoffman Pro BMX. Max Party Classic Games Volume 1. I have no idea what this is, so if you guys can enlighten me. I think it's a compilation of arcade games or something. MC Groove Dance Craze. Medabot Infinity. Never heard of this one. Honor European Assault. Frontline and Rise and Sun. Great World War II games. Everyone goes on about how good this one was, but I think this one had the best because the multiplayer was great. And then we have Meet the Robinsons. I actually watched this. I'm sure I watched this movie. Right, then we get into some good stuff. Mega Man. Now here is where you Mega Man fans are gonna love the Wii modded Wii. Anniversary Collection. This includes Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 Mega Man games. Why did they not do that on the Legacy Collection? The one they brought? 'Cause it's crazy because this has existed for so long. And this is you can't get this in UK, it's American owned. But the Legacy Collection only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then they released the next Legacy Collection which had 7, 8, 9 and 10. So why not just do it? You could do it on the GameCube, why couldn't you do it on an Xbox? I don't know. And then Network Transmission. I think this is a card battle game. And then the Mega Man X Collection. They've just done this as well. They've just released this as well on the Xbox. I can't really complain because, you know, if you couldn't play these games if you weren't in America or Japan. So, but yeah, so you've got all the Mega Man X games there and X Command. Great series of games here for you Mega Man fans. Men in Black 2, Alien Escape. Metal arms are glitch in the system. I hear good things about this game. And then we have, thank you, one of the, yeah I will, I'm nearly done. Then we have probably, in my opinion, one of the best reasons to own a GameCube, other than God Wars. Metal Gear Solid, the first game, was, in my opinion, the best Metal Gear Solid game of all time. In terms of story, it just was so great on the PlayStation 1. It was just one of the best games you could ever play. It was unlike nothing else, and the story in it, in the game, is just amazing. I remember my brother playing the game and watching him play it, and you know, I fell in love with watching people play this game. And so GameCube decided, you know what, we're going to take the first game and remaster it in a way that makes the first game better. Kojima did, I don't know if Kojima did work on this, but I think he did. This is much better than the first PS1 version. It is the definitive version of the game, and they haven't released this a remastered Metal Gear Solid on any other system. They've done it with 2, they've done it with 3. Why did they not do a HD version of the first game on anything else? This game, you know, is the first game, but it basically plays more like Metal Gear Solid 2 or 2. You know, with the first person, and you get the silent pistol and stuff like that, but it's fantastic, it's great. This is about a £50 game. Then we have Metroid Prime 1 and 2. I think I had 2 as a kid. I loved the multiplayer in this game, it's so great. These games, I know a lot of people stand by the original 2D platformer action game, but I love the Metroid Prime series. Great first person shooters. Then we have Micro Machines. Unfortunately, this is the Atari version, not as good. And then we have Midway Arcade Treasures 1, 2 and 3 for all you Midway fans. Minority Report, Everybody Runs. Mission Impossible Operation Surma. MLB Slugfest 2003 and 2004. Don't really know how good these are. Mobile Suit Gundam versus Zeta Gundam. From what I know, this is only came out in Japan. And Mobile Suit Gundam the Ace Pilot. I couldn't really find much information about this game. I love Gundam games. I love the Gundam series. I do need to watch more of it. Then we have Momotoru Densu 11 and 12. I don't know a lot about these games. I think they're strategy games, or like city builder, like Sim City games. Monopoly Party. That's the American artwork. Monsters 4x4 Masters of Metal, Monster House, and Monster Jam Ultimate Destruction. Really fun games. I loved the trucks as a kid. I'm a big kid, I still do love them. Monsters Inc. Scream Arena. I think, yeah, Scream Arena, and there was also Scare Island. There was only 2 Monsters Inc. Proper video games. There was your fair share of educational ones, but I love this movie. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance and Mortal Kombat Deception. 2 very good games. Mr. Driller, Drill Land. I believe this is this was an exclusive in Japan. Muppets Party Cruise. I have no idea why you would want to play a Muppet game. They're annoying. Nah, Muppets are classic. Muscle Champion. Ooh. Battle of Muscle Island. I have no idea what this is. And then Mutsu to Nohokon. No idea what it is. MVP Baseball 2004 and 2005. Then we have MX Superfly featuring Ricky Carmichael, Mystic Heroes, Namco Museum and Namco Museum 50th Anniversary. I think this one only has a few games, this one has more. And then we have some Naruto games, Naruto Clash of Ninja, Genku Ninja Kaisen 3 and 4. Exclusive ones, I think these were sort of like Naruto Ninja Storm. I don't really follow Naruto games, there's so many these days. No, I just fucking got coffee on my arm. Luckily it didn't go on the controller. Yeah, there's so many Naruto games. It's one of the biggest animes and it's hard to start with Naruto. It's one of those animes that a lot of people are saying is hard to get into these days because there's so many episodes. Anyway, NASCAR 2005, Chase for the Cup and NASCAR Thunder 2003 and Dirt to Daytona. I believe these were American games. We don't get a lot of NASCAR games over here. And then we have the unbelievable amount of NBA games. 2K2, 3, Courtside 2002, Live 06, Live 2003, Live 2004, 2005, NBA Street 1, 2 and 3. NCAA College Basketball 2K3. Why is there so many NBA games? It's crazy. NCAA Football 2K3. We don't get the NCAA games over here. A lot of people actually say the NCAA sport games are really good compared to the normal ones, and they've sort of died out now and have asked them for them to come back, but I don't know. And then we have NCAA Football 3, 4, and 5. So yeah. Then we have the Need for Speed games. We have Carbon, Hot Pursuit 2, Most Wanted, Underground, and 2. These are the only Need for Speed games that are really worth playing in my opinion. The rest of them afterwards just really went downhill. These are the Need for Speed games worth playing anyway, so especially my favourite, Underground. But this game, in my opinion, is the best Need for Speed. Definitely going to have to play them. Neighbours from Hell. Yeah, I know that thing. NFL 2K3. Wow. NFL Blitz 2002. I've got 2 copies apparently. And then Blitz 2003 and Blitz 2000 and Pro. I believe the Blitz games are the ones where you can get like injuries and hurt people, so that's something I probably prefer to play. I prefer, when it comes to sports games, I prefer to play arcade ones and ones where you can fight and stuff like that. NFL Quarterback Club 2002, NFL Street 1 and 2, and then we get into the hockey games. NHL 2006, 3, 4, 5, 2K3. Hits 2002 and Hits 2003 and Hits Pro. Yep. Then we have Nickelodeon Party Blast, Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island, and Nicktoons Unite. The whole concept behind these games was just having all these Nicktoon characters together. Danny Phantom, Jimmy Neutron, Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, Rugrats in that one. Nintendo Puzzle Collection. Another exclusive Japanese game. I think it's just got a bunch of like Nintendo puzzle games like Yoshi's Cookie and Dr. Mario. Odama. This is an interesting game. It's a mix between a strategy and pinball game. I do actually own the physical version of this as well. Will I stop buying physical versions of GameCube games? Probably not, no, because I do like to have a collection, especially in terms of money in the future, but also it's just a collector. Off-Road Thunder, no image. And then here we get to Ohiro-san. I have no idea what this is. And then we have One Piece Grand Battle Rush, and Treasure Island, also known as Shonen Jump. There was a lot of One Piece games in Japan. This is one of the biggest animes as well. The big top 3 is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Open Season, Outlaw Golf, Over the Hedge, which is surprisingly a fun game. Really like this game. Then we have PN03. This may look like a budget title, but I can assure you this game is amazing. I had this game when it first came out on the GameCube. It's amazing. It's a really good action sci-fi shooter. I always found it weird because you shoot out of your hand and it's really weird. But I love great game. And then we have a bunch of Pac-Man games. Pac-Man versus Fever, and this one I hear is good because you can play it with people. One person plays as Pac-Man, and then if you plug in Game Boy Advance, you have people playing on the Game Boy and they get to control the ghosts. Pac-Man World 2, Pac-Man World 3, and Pac-Man World Rally. Pac-Man games are about £20 to £30 these days, some of them. Paper Mario. These games are well known for their humour. King Kong, yep, a decent game. Another great game here. Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2, originally on the Dreamcast, but you can play these games offline, which is what I did anyway. I never really played them online, but these are these 1 and 2. These are great RPGs and co-op games as well. And then we have the third game, which is a card game, but it's still pretty fun. Piglet Big Game, and then we have Pikmin 1 and 2. I love these games. These are really charming, fun games. Pinball Hall of Fame, the Godliba Collection, Pitfall, The Lost Expedition, and then we get into some Pokemon games. Pokemon Box, Ruby and Sapphire. This isn't really a game. I think it was sort of like you plug in your Game Boy and then you can battle your Pokemon and trade and stuff like that. It's more of an accessory rather than a game. Pokemon Channel, similar thing. This came out. I don't really know much about that. And then we have Pokemon Colosseum. I remember this game. This is a great game. And then the bonus disc and Gale of Darkness. Now the only complaint I have with these games is that yes, you can, well, this one at least, you can play these games without, well, this one and this one, you can play them without the Game Boy, but you can only get a few Pokemon characters. The only way you can get Pokemon in this game is by capturing infected Pokemon, and there's only a few of them you can do it. But there was a really cool mode in this game where you got to do like a top 100. You had to fight 100 different Pokemon. So I recommend, if you're gonna play these games, especially this one, get yourself a Game Boy adapter and get yourself the game, because then you can transfer all your characters over. Pool Bridge, Edge, sorry, and Pool Paradise. This is an exclusive pool game. Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and then the Prince of Persia trilogy, Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and Two Thrones. So that's 1, 2, and 3. That should really be there, but still, yeah. Great games, especially this one is, in my opinion, the best Prince of Persia game of all time. Pro Rally, Puyo Pop Fever. This is an exclusive rally game. I'm not very good at this. And then we have R Racing and R Racing Revolution. I don't know if there's any differences between these games. Radarigi? I don't know what this is. Rally Championship, Rampage Total Destruction. Surprisingly fun variation. Ratatouille, Rave Master. I have no idea what this is. I don't know if it's an anime. Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc, and Rayman Arena. This is technically Rayman multiplayer. Arena was the American title. Red Card 2003. This is essentially football, but or soccer for you guys in America, but you're encouraged to get red cards. Red Faction 2 and Reign of Fire. Now we get into the good stuff. Resident Evil. A lot of people who want to play the best versions of Resident Evil all on one console, the GameCube is good for you. These are all remastered. Well, anyway, so we have the first Resident Evil. This was the first remaster, and it's a very good game. Oh, sorry, I missed out on Reign of Fire. Sorry. Resident Evil 2. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't wait for the remake of Resident Evil 2." It already exists, guys, on the GameCube. And Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. This is a lot of people swear by these two. I actually think this one was highly underrated. And then 4, which actually was an exclusive time, and then they released it on other consoles. And then the bonus disc as well. And then Code Veronica X and Resident Evil 0. This was originally an exclusive as well. So, a good library of Resident Evil games. And for all of you wanting to play Resident Evil 2 Remastered, get yourself the GameCube version to hold you over if you can't bear those PlayStation controls. Ribbit King, 2 copies of him. And then this interests me, Road Trip the Arcade Edition. I loved the Road Trip game on PS2, but I have no idea why this is the arcade version. I might have to look this up because this is an exclusive. Now, Road Trip was on PS2. So, is this a different version of the game? I'm going to have to look up because I loved Road Trip. Roadkill, Robocop, a Japanese exclusive by the looks of it. Robotech Battlecry, Robots, Rocket Power Beach Bandit, Rocky, Rogue Ops. A lot of these games that I'm not talking about are multi-platform games. I'm trying to just talk more about the exclusives. Royal Ransom, but the GameCube versions of the games are better than the PS2 version sometimes. Scalar, Scooby-Doo Night of the 100 Fries, Unmasked, which is surprisingly a good Scooby-Doo game, and Mystery Mayhem. SD Gundam Gashapon Wars. SD Gundams are sort of more like chibi style of Gundam. SeaWorld Adventure parts, Shamu's Deep Sea Adventure. Second Sight, this isn't exclusive, but I did like this game. I had it on GameCube. This is a really good game. Sega Soccer Slam, this is surprisingly fun as well. Another arcade football game with like power-ups and things. I love those sort of sport games over than the traditional. Serious Sam Next Encounter. I'm gonna have to get the Serious Sam HD collection. Shadow the Hedgehog. I thought this game was awesome as a kid, but it's a terrible game. Shaman King Soul Fight. This is an exclusive in Japan. Shark Tale. Shingami no Kyuru 2, which is actually Castle Shingami 2, I believe. Cyber Formula. This is a race. Yeah, there we go. It's a racing game, eventually. And then we have Shonen Jump, One Piece Grand Adventure, Grand Battle, and Pirates Carnival. Shonen Jump is essentially One Piece. I believe these were... I don't know if these are Japanese exclusives or not. And we have a bunch of Shrek games. Shrek 2, Extra Large, Crash Racing, Super Slam, and Super Party for all you Shrek. This is surprisingly a good game. This, if I was going to recommend a Shrek game, number 2. Skies of Arcadia Legend. You know that game I was saying earlier that you can't Arcadia game, a Japanese one. I believe that's this game here, which is I hear is a pretty good RPG. Smash and Drive, Smugglers 1 Warzones. I don't know if this is a remake of the first game. And then we have Sonic games. Sonic Adventure Battle 2. This is a great game. Sonic Adventure DX. This is also a really good 3D Sonic game. Gems Collection. Heroes, which again I thought was pretty decent. Mega Collection. And then Sonic Riders. Soul Calibur 2, of course, Gamecube version, you get Link. Space Raiders, which is essentially updated Space Raiders. Spartan Total Warrior. I've already told you guys how good of a game this is. Check it out. Spawn Armageddon. Special Jinsei game. I have no idea. Speed Challenge. Speed Kings. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. I did not realise this came out on Gamecube. I thought it was only on PS2. Spider-Man 1 and 2. Very good game actually. Spirits and Spells. Couldn't really find much information about this game, but it's an exclusive. And we got a bunch of SpongeBob games. Battle for Bikini Bottom, which I hear is really good. Creature from the Krusty Krab. Pants, Lights, Camera, Pants. Party game. Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. I remember playing this on the PS2. And then the movie. Then we have Spy Hunter. Terrible version of the game. And then Spyro, A Hero's Tale, and Enter the Dragonfly. Can't wait for the Reignited trilogy. SSX3, On Tour, and Tricky. Great arcade snowboarding games. Starfox Adventures. I couldn't really get into this game as a kid. Then we have Starfox Assault, which I believe this game is really expensive now. This is about like an £80 game. And then we get into some Star Wars games. Bounty Hunter, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and the two exclusives were Rogue Squadron 2 and 3. These are good arcade shooters. Of course, the first one on the Nintendo 64. And then the Clone Wars. Starsky and Hutch, Street Hoops, Street Racing Syndicate, Strike Force Bowling, Summoner of Goddess Reborn, which I believe is the second game, Super Bubble Pop, Super Buster Move All Stars, Super Mario Strikers. This is a really good arcade game, arcade football game. Super Mario Sunshine, which a lot of people give a lot of hate to this game. I think this game is really good. I think it's one of the best Mario 3D games. That's not your traditional level one with, you know, like Odyssey and Nintendo. It's just as good as I'm saying it's just as good as Odyssey, and it's just as good as Mario 64. And then we have Super Monkey Ball, Super Monkey Ball 2, and Super Monkey Ball Adventure. Fantastic games, really fun games. Hard though. Super Robot Tyson Gamecube, Super Robot. Super Smash Bros. Melee, really good game. Superman Shadow of Apocalypse, Surf's Up, Swingers Golf, exclusive, SX Superstar, Tak 2, Tak and the Power of Juju, Tak and the Great Juju Challenge, yep, Nickelodeon. Tales of Symphonia, the Tales game that came out on the the GameCube exclusive. I believe this did come out on the PS4, I believe. And then we have Disney's Tarzan Freeride and Untamed, which I believe are the same game, just different names. Taxi 3, Taz Wanted, Teen Titans. The new Teen Titans is horrible. The humour's there, but just the design, I just don't like it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 and 3, the Ninja Turtle games. I believe these are pretty good. Tengai Makyu 2 Manji Maru, I have no idea what it is. Terminator 3 Redemption, I loved this game as a kid, but it's pretty tough. Not that great now. Tetris Worlds, The Ant Bully, Chronicles of Narnia, The Fairly Odd Parents Shadow Show, Breaking the Walls, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I did not know this came out on the GameCube, I thought this was only a Wii game. The Haunted Mansion, The Hobbit, The Hulk in Ultimate Destruction, which is considered to be one of the best Hulk games. Incredibles Rise of the Underminer, I love this game. A Challenge Job, Legend of Spyro A New Beginning, and then we get into the good stuff. All of the Zelda games. Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, which comes with Legend of Zelda 1 and 2, and I believe Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. It was a promotional game. Zelda Four Swords Adventures, of course, a multiplayer game, but 3 players had to go on the Game Boy. And then we have the Ocarina of Time double disc, which comes with the Master Quests, the Wind Waker, and the Twilight Princess, which is actually originally a Wii game, but the GameCube version is considered to be much more sought after because, you know, GameCube. So you get here, well, essentially you get here a good selection of Zelda games. So the GameCube is great because you get to play the 3D Zeldas as well. And then we have the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Third Age, and the Two Towers. Great game, this one was. Oh. The Polar Express, the Powerpuff Girls Relish Rampage. I love the Powerpuff Girls. They look terrible now though. The Scorpion King. The Simpsons Hit and Run. Very, very beloved game. Road Rage. And then we have the Sims games. We have The Sims, The Sims 2, The Sims 2 Pets, and The Sims Busting Out. The Tower of Draga. I have no idea what that is. And then we have the Herbs, Sims in the City. So a good selection of sim games. I love the Herbs though. Then we have Tiger Woods PGA Tour 06, 3, 4 and 5. Then we have Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect. Favourite game of all time. I'm going to have to give the GameCube version a go of this version, because I played this on GameCube and I prefer Time Splitters 2 on GameCube. So maybe I played this on the PS2. Maybe I'm going to have to play this on here. Then we have TMNT based on the older movie, and Mutant Melee. Tom and Jerry War and Whiskers. Tom and Jerry, I love Tom and Jerry. Then we have a bunch of Tom Clancy games. Ghost Recon 2, Rainbow Six 3, Rainbow Six Lockdown, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and Splinter Cell Double Agent, Pandora Tomorrow, and The Sum of All Fears, which is actually not that bad of a game. Tonka Rescue Patrol. And then we have a bunch of Tony Hawk games. American Wasteland, Pro Skater 3 and 4, and Underground 1 and 2. Love the Tony Hawk series. Top Angler Real Bass Fishing. Top Gun Combat Zones, Trans World Surf, Triggerman, True Crime New York City, and Streets of LA. Love this game as a kid. Tube Slider, Championship of Future Formula 1. Yep. Turok Evolution. Tiger Tasmanian Tiger 1, 2 and 3. UEFA Championship League 2004 and 5. Ultimate Fighting Championship Throwdown. Ultimate Muscle Legend vs New Generation. Universal Theme Park Studios, considered to be one of the worst GameCube games. Urban Freestyle Soccer. V-Rally 3, looking forward to 4. Vets. And then we have the great series of Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, originally an exclusive, but they did bring it out on PS2. And Red Hot Rumble. I've never heard of this one before. Didn't even know there was a third one. Virtua Quest. And then Virtua Striker 2002. 3 version 2002. What? Different variations a bit. Wallace and Gromit in Project 2. WarioWare. Very fun micro games. Wario World. Warrior Blade Rastan vs Barbarian. World Tour. Wave Race Blue Storm. Winnie the Pooh. Winning 11. This is pretty much Pez. Yeah, Pez. Pro Evolution Soccer is called Winning 11 in Japan. World Racing. World Series of Poker. Worms 3D. Worms Blah. Reckless the Yakuza missions. Unfortunately, no Yakuza. World Tennis Tour. WWE Cross Hour. WWE Day of Reckoning 1 and 2. WrestleMania 18. I loved this game as a kid. It's terrible, but I loved it. WrestleMania, I believe that's 21. X-Men Legends 1 and 2. I just started this on PS2 the other day, and it's pretty decent. X-Men Next Dimension, the official game, and X2 Wolverine's Revenge. Extreme G Racing, and the same company, I think. 13. Yu-Gi-Oh! The False-Bound Kingdom. Zappa. Zack Bell Mamudo Battles. Mamudo Fury. Zoids Battle Legends. Zoids Full Metal Crash. Zoids vs 3, and ZooCube. So, there we go. That's the full library of GameCube games. Yes, there is a lot. How good is this library? I think it's a very good library. You've got a bit of everything on here. In terms of exclusives, there could be more exclusives, but the exclusives that are on here are really good. I think for the most part, the exclusives on the GameCube are sort of like 80-20%. 80% of them are really good, 20% of them are bad. But the multi-platform games you can't really hate on the GameCube for. They just wanted to get the games on the system to compete with the other systems. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm really happy to have the full library of GameCube games. I'm slowly going through each game, giving them a go, seeing if I like them. But to be honest, guys, I've been playing a lot of Gotcha Force. I can't really not play that game. But yeah, so we'll have a look through the WiiWare games next, which is 750 games. That'll be an interesting one because WiiWare, a lot of people don't really know a lot about it, so I can sort of give a bit of a view of, you know, for those of you who didn't get WiiWare. And then, of course, we'll go through the Game Boy games, and maybe I'll do the Game Boy games in ASMR, maybe, if you guys want it. Anyway, guys, I want to be last again to give a big thank you for 150 subscribers. We finally reached a goal, and I did say I wanted to reach 150 subscribers within the next few months, so we did it. Once again, I did want to give a big thanks to X Emulation for making this awesome system. I'm glad to actually have every single GameCube game, and WiiWare game, and Game Boy Advance games. So I've got every single game. So essentially, I've just completed 3 collections. It's impossible. I know I don't technically have the physical version, but being able to play them all is good enough for me. But you know, it's still great. But a lot of people have modded systems out there, and say what you want, I can't really complain. I really do enjoy playing these games, and the GameCube's a great system, definitely one that's worth checking out. I do own quite a few of these GameCube games as well, so it's nice to have physical and digital versions. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, something a little bit different here for you guys. If you want to see those other 2 collections, feel free to let me know. If there's any game in this collection that you saw that you want me to play, let me know again. And of course guys, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like and of course comment below. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. And take care, and I'll see you in the next video, and have a nice day, and I'll see you soon. Take care and bye bye.